Georgie here. Today's episode is going to be about Laura Tollit and how she combined chiropractic with some acupuncture to help out Rio, one of Casey's horses. It's a bit of a mish-mash, but it was some interesting conversations, and we just thought you might find it interesting. If you enjoy, let us know, and if you have any questions, then also please reach out.
Get the two sides as symmetrical as we can.
And so, of course, like you were saying on the previous conversation we had about using the electrodes first. So you're using that from the perspective of releasing muscles, or to stimulate muscles, or is it to help to...
More releasing the muscles. I will actually pop that on in a minute. I find it very good, particularly for sort of where he's got the tightness. I find it very good for just getting in deeper and releasing everything off. So yeah, we'll pop that.
Well, and you're seeing a lot of EMF and things like that. I mean, Hoffmag and a couple of other companies are becoming really quite popular, aren't they?
Yes.
And that people are seeing some real lasting changes.
We're getting closer and closer to the camera. If he's going to knock it over, then we better move it.
Yep, don't get that close.
Just pop 2 more in, and then we're...
Since I'm just getting further and further away from Laura.
It's turning me into a head job.
Yeah. Because isn't it absurd? In the human world, you can be an acupuncturist without being a doctor, can't you? But you can't.
Yeah, that is correct.
But in the horse world or the animal world, you have to be a vet to do it.
Yes. That
So
is
any human can do it to another human, but they can't do it to a horse unless they have a very specific qualification.
I'm afraid so.
Which is part of the reason why I think bodywork and modalities is so confusing for people, because like you say, we as humans would consider a physiotherapist as quite a highly trained person, yet like you say in the veterinary world,
It's not a protected term.
it doesn't mean anything.
No.
Yet acupuncturists, they can go do a course, and I'm not saying it's a little course, I'm sure it's probably quite in depth, but they can still do it without any real title, if that makes sense. In the
they don't have
world.
to be a doctor.
No.
Or a surgeon or a consultant.
It's backwards somewhere, isn't it? Something's got a bit confused. So is this almost like a TENS machine?
I was just about to ask the same question.
Oh,
I guess sort of. So this is going to attach. The needles I've got in range between 5 centimetres and 7.5 centimetres. So this is going to attach to the needles. So it will then, the current will go through much deeper
and trigger into the muscle.
Tangle them.
So we're basically, because by stimulating the muscle with an electric current, you would be creating it to contract and release. Is it kind of so? Is that pulsing?
We just basically.
And it's the same idea, because you can create the same effectively like an electrical current by twiddling the needles, can't you? Like twisting the needles and things. You can stimulate the
so
muscle
what we'll
in a
do
similar
before
way.
we take them out is I will basically aggravate the area. We'll put these on first.
And do you usually do them in opposite pairs? Is that how it kind of works, or?
Yeah, so you can either do them same side, or you can go across. So I tend to put mine across. Good lad. I find more horses get upset about the wires draping over them than they do about actually what I'm doing.
Yeah, the wire's tickling them.
Yes. Too tall, mate.
How do you determine how much electrical current you put through the wires? Or is it like a set amount that
Honest, it's a setting on the...
Oh, okay.
We go for setting 30.
Right, okay.
This is actually a human machine, so it's we pick the settings that are most suitable for horses.
Okay.
Do you see it? Do you see the contractions in the
We
muscle?
will do in a minute. I start it off slowly because I don't want you to suddenly leap in the air.
Yeah. Well, he's feeling it already, right?
And that's only on, I mean, a lot of horses will get up to sort of 0.9 or 1, and he's currently on 0.3, and we've already got a bit of licking and chewing going on. So.
I'm chewing my hand.
Biting.
Or chewing Casey's hands, rather.
Oh. Do you ever get horses that really dislike this? You do.
I can't even put a needle in my horse. Not the horse I was telling you about.
Oh, really?
The other one.
That's frustrating.
One you can't chiro, one you can't acupuncture.
One you can't acupuncture.
Well, I haven't even tried acupuncture in the one I can't chiro. I thought that might end in tears. So Dav, he will down there bucky on the spot
No,
with one
really?
needle.
Doesn't like it.
No.
Is it a similar feeling to TENS machine?
I'll be honest, I haven't used it myself because I hate needles.
Oh, you can really see the muscle on the other side.
Yeah, I was going to say, you might
On the other side.
Really?
Oh, it's stopped now.
Oh, of course.
Oh no, here we go. Here we go.
Oh yes.
There we go.
Oh, wow. Can't get the right angle.
And that's interesting because this is the side with the most tension.
So, do you find that's
There we
common?
go.
That
It's
the
like
side where there's the
yeah.
most tension, you'll get more reaction.
I would say generally, yeah.
And why would that be?
Now you're asking. I'll be honest, I don't really have an answer.
That's fine.
I mean, part of me wonders. I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not a body worker, but part of me wonders. In my brain, it's like the hypertonicity of the muscle creates stronger fibres. So the more fibres you've got, the more fibres there is to then react and pulse. I could be talking completely out of my bottom, but that kind
sort of makes sense.
Yeah, and I guess obviously when you're treating a trigger point with your hands, you're going to get circulation through the muscle because it's reacting to what's going on when you're treating it. So it's the same with a needle, I guess. It's the body's way of responding to the treatment and trying to relax. Because you can see it's still responding now, but the twitches are less frequent.
It's less than it was.
And will you leave them in until you've got full relaxation? Or do you have a set time?
No,
that you...
it's a set time.
Okay.
It tends to, because you can then make them start, if you start playing with the needles, they will often start circulating again.
Okay.
So it tends to just be a set time, and then what I'll do is I'll show them it, I'll take the machine off, and then I'll actually sort of probe the areas with the needle before taking the needles out. So if there are any other sort of circulations and anything that's sort of in the trigger point, then we can release it off at that point.
Because I mean, effectively the idea of the acupuncture, if I'm correct in saying, is that you are basically regaining the muscle's ability to get the blood running through it properly, aren't you? You know, you're kind of trying to get the muscle to work as it
basically
should.
trying to relax.
So that you've got even, you know, blood flow coming through the whole muscle, rather than same as it releasing a trigger point. It's the same concept, isn't it? It's trying to get blood flow
where these
coming
needles are
through
placed,
the muscle.
it is basically working on the same idea as releasing trigger point. But obviously we've just got in a little bit deeper, and the current just helps.
And it's saving your fingers.
Well, and so it's basically just working from the top of a muscle. You're actually working,
within the muscle.
I mean, although these horses' muscles often are so deep, you're not going to be able to necessarily get to the bottom of the muscle.
And that's exactly what I was saying earlier. Like with your, 10 centimetres or 10 inches, the long needles, you're going to target so much deeper than someone like myself who only uses their hands. I would never be able to get that deep into a muscle. So those deep layers of muscles that we can't target with our hands, you can reach with the needles, and that can make such a big difference.
No, I do find it works really well sort of combined with the chiro side of things. I do get the odd person that says, oh, can you just come and do acupuncture? But actually, if you watch the horse trot up and you can see the pelvis is restricted and it's not moving, it's like, can I just adjust it? And and
then most of your problems are actually fixed.
Yes. So no, I don't like just doing one or the, or if I had to only choose one, I'd do chiro. But
no, it's a little bit like when I first qualified, and I had a lot of people say, "Oh, can you come and massage my horse's shoulders?" And I said, "No, I treat the whole horse."
Yeah, no, I get that as well.
And I couldn't believe the amount of people that would ask me just to do specific areas.
But also, how do they know that specific area is a problem?
Exactly.
And also, how do they know that area isn't tight because of another area?
Exactly.
So I think that
and then that's when you have to go and explain, no, I treat the whole horse, and this is the reason why, because one area can affect another area, and it's a full body experience.
Well, in the end, horses you have to look at from a very holistic point of view. You know, you can't just be focusing on one thing. You know, it's like we've you know, I've had this conversation with a lot of people about how in the end with a horse, and we're especially talking performance horses, you're wanting marginal gains. So that's what you're looking for, is you're not looking for any one thing to revolutionise them. You're looking for, you know, whatever it is with the body workers, the saddle fit, the shoes, the bit, the feed, the training regime, you know, all these other elements that will in the end gain
it stems back right to the beginning. It's a team effort.
You have to, you only need a 1% improvement in each of those areas to get a 10% improvement in a horse. So it's thinking along those lines, that these are all just an element of a much bigger picture.
That's really settled down this side.
Yeah. So I'm just going to take the machine off now, so that's been on for 10 minutes.
He's really enjoyed that. Has he had acupuncture before? Oh, okay.
He loves a bit of acupuncture. Yeah. But that was acupuncture that is done. In fact, it was the guy that you trained with, wasn't it, Laura? Dietrich?
Oh yeah, he did the
Yeah. So he would work.
Oh, he's a genius, that man.
He is. He's a very clever man, and he's
far more clever than me.
But then he obviously only does acupuncture.
Right. Okay.
So you know, it's interesting. Obviously, this combination of actually a form of, you know, a chiropractic adjustment.
Why has that needle come out bent?
Just because of if they move around a little bit, obviously because they're going in quite a long way, if those muscles contract and move, so it doesn't necessarily mean there's a massive problem there. If they fidget around.
I guess that means you do have to be quite careful when you take them out, because they're not just going to slide out straight the same way that they went in.
Yeah, some horses are a bit reactive when you take them out, but so like there, I'll do it again. For any stipulations before take the needles out.
I love that you hate needles, but you're happy just going rubbish around.
But it's not in me, it's fine.
Yeah, she can't feel that, can she?
That's why I'm just
prodding away.
And then
Just
lie me
prodding
down
away.
on the sofa in another room.
And so from a perspective of how long it would usually take, so if somebody books someone to come and treat their horse, how long do you think they should expect somebody to work on a horse if you're going to go through it thoroughly? Obviously different treatments take different amounts of time, but you know, is them arriving and taking 20 minutes, and will they have done what they need to do?
That's really difficult, because I mean, start to finish, like if I'm obviously meeting a client at a horse and we're starting history, trot up, sometimes we'll see them on the lunge, and sort of full treatment, whether that's chiro and acupuncture sort of combination, I would on average say an hour. Sometimes particularly sort of initial appointments can take a little bit longer. Equally, if I might be there a little bit less, but sometimes I will treat a horse without an owner, or if I'm at a big yard and they're like those three there and leave me to it, it is a little bit quicker, because obviously
You don't have talking time.
Well,
no talking time.
Yeah.
And if people, if I'm just literally doing chiropractic adjustments, that is a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But I would say if I'm going out to see a horse, I would expect to be there about an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would say my average treatment is about an hour for a horse.
Yeah.
If I've got a new client, I would probably allow about an hour and 15 minutes. For obviously taking history. I do try and take a lot of history now before I get there for new clients.
Save a little bit of time on it.
Yeah, and I think also, if you've got a little bit of an idea of what's going on with the horse, you also then know how much extra time you might need.
Yes.
Because if you don't, you could get there and they say, well, actually, they've had this, this, and this, and it's actually a really complicated case. You think, goodness, I should have allowed an hour and a half for this.
No, I'll be honest, I tend to just take all the history when I get there. And
I used to
face to face to somebody. Then
only a basic history. I literally would just say, like, is there any current ailments, injuries, anything like that that's being treated by the vet or recently been seen by the vet? If it's a no, then I think, okay, there can't be too much going on that's going to take me too much extra time. But if they say, oh yes, like, we're currently lame on this leg and we've got this problem, or I don't know, we've just been diagnosed with kissing spine or something like that, and they haven't come forward with that when they've booked the appointment, I think, right, okay, I might need a little bit of extra time for maybe showing them some rehab exercises and things like that as well.
That's a really good point. I find as well, like I have a booking form that people fill in, and it does ask a little bit of history on there as well, because for me, sometimes I find that people, and I don't mean this, they do it intentionally, but they forget some of the things. And so getting them to think about it slightly beforehand when you're with them, they can then come to, oh, I forgot to put this on the form.
Exactly,
but this also
it prompts them to think a bit more.
But I guess it's different for you because you're turning up and seeing what's in front of you and then treat what's in front of you. Admin's not my strongest point, so getting too much paperwork done in advance. See, but that's why I like the booking form, because it's all online and it stores it all automatically.
Mine's all electronic.
Technophobe.
Cool. So what else? What are we doing now?
Okay.
Oh, now this is another interesting thing, because this happens quite a lot with needles, isn't it? Where they kind of rise up out of the muscle. So why do they do that?
It can be sort of the fascia unwinding. I'll take those out while we're at it. I mean, obviously they can wiggle around when they move a little bit, but it does tend to be, if they are a little bit tight, they're almost like doing the job that we put them in for. They can just sort of start to
almost work their way out. And so interestingly, obviously Laura, you've had a little bit of a handicap because you've never met this horse before, so you've seen him just for the first time today. Sophie, on the other hand, does know this horse because she's treated him many times. So between the two, from what you find normally is normal for him, would you say what Laura's found here is fairly normal?
Exactly what I find every time I treat him.
That's the right answer.
If you went through his treatment records, every time I treat him, the pattern that you have found through his body is pretty much what I find when I see him. And I think that boils down to his conformation, the way he moves and the way he likes to move and the way he likes to stand, and it's just postural patterns that put him there, not because of anything sinister or anything. It's just they all have their ways that they
kind of what we've seen and what we felt today. It's just sort of an MOT sort of maintenance.
And obviously I've really enjoyed seeing you do the acupuncture with him, particularly because I will often spend a lot of time working on his lumbar region because of the shivers cause quite a lot of tension for him there, and it can take quite a long time to release. And it shows how the acupuncture is really beneficial.
Because you can get much deeper right from the start, so you can start working it outwards, inwards, outwards.
And Laura's thumbs don't hurt even.
You basically look quite lazy. No.
You're going to go to the vet now just so you can put needles in, aren't you?
Well, there is that. Another 5 years at university.
Exactly.
But it's interesting, and I think that kind of goes back into what we were saying in the last episode, is that certain thoughts out there have the thought that well, if I train them perfectly correctly, then they'll always be symmetrical and they'll always be good. But as you just said, rightly so, the same as humans, we adapt and adopt poor postural habits, and we don't even realise.
No, and the thing is with horses, we can't tell them stand up straight and don't rest both back legs evenly and things like that. They just become in a habit, and it's like us, we all stand either that way or slouch or whatever, and they are exactly the same. We only ride them for not even an hour every day. We can only control so much of what they do with their body. When they're standing in the stable or the field, we can't control how they stand.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing, isn't it? We ride them most an hour a day for training purposes, obviously hacking for longer and stuff. But training, we're only really controlling an hour a day of what they're doing, most. And 23 hours they're adopting whatever posture they want, whatever lazy stance they have.
Exactly.
And I mean, but the thing is, I mean, you know, this horse would be a good example of actually how their posture does change, because his posture has changed
quite considerably
over the last few years that I've had him and trained him, and between treatment and work and, you know, everything that we do, he holds himself in a different way. But he also carries himself very differently when he works, because he can. So, you know.
As a practitioner, how often would you want to acupuncture him? If you were treating him as
I mean, I think it depends a little bit, kind of, if there's other therapists involved and you know, things like that as well. A lot of horses, particularly if they're using, you know, sort of a physio or somebody
in between treatments.
A lot of chiro horses I will see every 6 months. Some I'll see every 3 months. If they are particularly tight and, you know, working at a good level and the acupuncture really beneficial, then probably every 2 or 3 months. Sort of,
but I think that's another valid point as well that people need to take on board with when you're using multiple therapists that may all complement each other, they all do different things, is that you can't, you know, it's not a good idea to have one week and then one another week and then one the following week. It's too much for a horse's body to take. You need to space them out.
Well,
give
and
the
also,
horse's
like
body time.
I said earlier, the movement in between is actually more beneficial than the body work. The body work is there to kind of release the tensions and get the muscle functioning. Actually, they need to go work and go do. Whether that's in-hand groundwork or being ridden, it doesn't really matter. But they need to do something. So too much body work and not enough work doesn't make a happy horse either.
And also, I mean, and as we've spoken about before, and obviously the next horse that will be treated, he is almost a little bit hypermobile, so actually too much sort of manipulation and moving him around is actually going to make him too. We're not doing that bit.
No, we can do that bit. We need to come to an end with this episode because I need to swap batteries and stuff around.
Okay, it's dead. We'll talk about that in the next one.
So do you want to, we can finish off.
Do you want to do a sign off or not?
Yeah, we've literally got 1 minute.
Okay, right. Let's bring it back here. Everyone crowd in. Right, thank you very much, everybody. And this has been Taught the Hind Leg Off a Horse. Laura's been treating Rio, who's been the sort of model patient, apart from nipping me a couple of times. But other than that, he's been a good boy. So we will see you all soon. And he's biting me still. Don't work with animals or children.
Oh, but he's so beautiful. Cool.
You can go sleep now, mate. He says, oh, she's scratching me again. That's a good bit.